Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas here with you this morning, joined by Lisa Paramore, who is Director of Communications at the Stark Board of Developmental Disabilities. Did I say that correctly?
You did. Good morning.
Lisa, we're happy to have you here, and I understand lots of changes going on. But first of all, let's kind of back up a little bit. Some people may wonder, they know that every once in a while there's a levy on the ballot, and where your funding comes from, and kind of an overview of the Board of DD.
Sure. We are, as you said, a levy-funded agency, and we get part of our monies, approximately 40%, give or take a few percentage, from local tax dollars, and then the rest comes from federal dollars, mostly in the form of federal Medicaid dollars.
And any idea to help us understand the numbers you serve, the population that's being served?
Sure. We are roughly about 3,500 children and adults with varying disabilities, intellectual, physical disabilities.
So what I'm always amazed is when I visit and see the new technology and what people are able to do with some of the new technology. Can you touch on that just briefly? Some of the I don't want to get into too much services
Sure.
that you provide, because I know these kinds of things are changing, and
Right.
we're going to get into that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to make someone do things beyond what they ever thought they'd be able to do.
It is really amazing, and it kind of reminds me, I was just at a fundraiser dinner on Thursday evening for the ARC of Ohio Stark County, and that evening the state director, Gary Tonks, came down, and they have received a grant from a company, walked in their door and said, we want to provide you, I'm not sure if it was 100 iPads, donated them, because they understand the use of an iPad right now. So when Gary came down to this dinner Thursday evening, he presented Superintendent Bill Green, who's the superintendent for Stark DD, with 5 iPads, completely free, and he said, we recognize the value. We know these are not readily accessible. Please give these directly into the hands of 5 people who could use them.
Wow.
And so we have, throughout the years since iPads even came in, have tried some different grants and fundraisers to get some in the classrooms, some that can go home with students, so that these 5 just came and were handed to the superintendent to put right in the hands, because they recognize, whether it's the different apps that can literally, you can load an app, you can put in words, you can put in if the family is going to go to Yellowstone Park for a vacation. You can get an app and you can put in keywords and help that student so they can participate in their vacation to Yellowstone by touching all these different icons.
Wow.
That will then communicate to mom and dad, this is a beautiful view of Yellowstone. I mean, how amazing to be able to empower somebody that maybe can't be verbal in another way to participate in their family's everyday life.
Oh.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You have the unique perspective of being able to work closely with families. Can we take a minute and tell us some of the stories that have really touched you?
Sure. And I do also have to make a side note, too, because not only do I get to work with families, but I also live it at home. I have a 15-year-old son with developmental disabilities, so I like to tell people when I go out, I not only work it, but I live it. So I just think that I think one of the neatest things that we did in this last year, we made a video, and we shot it down in Monument Park, and we had a variety of stars for our video, and they were just talking about being an individual, doing things for themselves, what they liked. And we had everything from a family, a child who just started kindergarten, I believe, and the impact of this family, and to see them up playing on the playground together, and the brothers and sisters were there, to a young girl that's in school, that she came with an iPad, and she said her part for the movie by touching the button on an electronic device to say her line.
Wow.
And how much it meant to her to have friends that she could communicate and play with. We had some adults who are living on their own, and they have a dog that's their best friend, or they are going and participating in the Y and joining an exercise program so they can get stronger. So this movie was just, it unleashed a lot of wishes and hopes and showing how people, children and adults with disabilities, are succeeding in some of their dreams and what they want to do. It's really a neat video clip. We've got it on our YouTube channel that can be accessed through our website. So we were really pleased with it, and so I hope maybe people will go out and view that. It has some great friends in there in that video.
Absolutely. Don't view it right now. Wait until we're done talking here and then look it up. And your website is?
www.starkdd.org. And right on our homepage, there's both access to our YouTube channel. There's a YouTube button there, and then also our Facebook page.
Going through some changes these days. Kind of walk us through this and tell us how you're navigating it, and then we're going to want to get into how we can help.
Sure. There are a lot of changes going on in our system right now, and it is very challenging, I think, for families. And the thing I need to put out there to begin with, this, for people with intellectual disabilities, I mean, since the very beginning, the board has been around for almost 50 years. In 2018, Stark DD will be celebrating 50 years of providing support and services to people with disabilities.
Wow.
So, to start off with, this has been for parents and families a civil rights movement from the very, very beginning. And so I first want to start out by acknowledging those early families who were there from the very beginning that literally said, I want something more for my child. I want something more than sitting at home, not being a part of their community. And so we really have to acknowledge those early families that got the ball rolling, started pushing up that rock up a very, very steep hill. And so that civil rights movement continues. And, so it's gone through different phases. And so right now, it is about community inclusion. And, a couple of years ago, the phrase was going around, our community is better together, and it really is. And so a lot of these changes right now are focusing on how we can make sure that children and adults with varying abilities can be an integral part of their community, whether it is on the job, in our neighborhoods, in our churches, in our stores, in our community, at our YMCAs, wherever you and I go. How can we help people with varying abilities be a part of it?
You have, again, I'll say a unique perspective because you see this at work, you see this in your home. The sense of pride from a child's face to an adult's face when they've accomplished something. Can you describe that? And before I throw it to you, I'll just give a real brief personal experience. I used to get to work with Special Olympics in college. And then later on, during a time of life doing aerobic dance instructing, we got a group of kids together and they performed and they did an aerobic dance routine. Lisa, to try to get them to leave the stage was the toughest part because they were having such a ball. Talk about that. It's so fun to see.
It is. And I do a lot of, just through work, supporting the Special Olympics. And then my own family, it has been part of Challenger Baseball in our community.
We've had them here.
Yes. And so we have done that for probably about 8 years. And so, but those successes, I'll tell you, are not only on the sports field where, of course, I see them. My son started Challenger Baseball the very first year, and I've been told it's like any other kid that starts baseball. They spend a lot of the time either picking the dandelions in outfield or his first year, filled his ball cap with the dirt on the infield and put his hat on his head.
Sounds like T-ball to me.
Yep. But I'll tell you, last year, his hits were almost to the outfield.
Wow.
Our bowls we're supposed to have practice starting up here this month. I'm hoping the weather will start to cooperate. But just the pride of seeing those kids be able to do that. We've got a young man on our team that plays in a wheelchair, and he hits one-handed, and he's got it out there to the outfield. Wow. He's worked on it, an amazing young man. So to see that on the sports field, but I'll tell you, you can see it in all places. One of the new things that we have, and we'll be able to talk about it, we have a talented group of artists. Mm-hmm. And so just this year, starting in October, we have had our Just Imagine gift gallery that has been housed typically in our building at the Whippledale Center. And so just in October, we rented a space down in the Arts District. And they are just around the corner from the Palace Theater. Mm-hmm. And they have a storefront. They are down there Monday through Friday creating art, being a part of the art community. And then they are there on First Fridays. And I don't even think we could imagine what has gone on. It's beyond what we even imagined. And how they are a part not only of that arts community, they go out, they've been visiting other shops, they've been welcomed, they've had lunch, and then they have the community coming in to shop and learning, and they're still learning, how to talk to the shoppers as they come in without pointing out their own painting and saying, please buy this. But, there is the pride of their art. And when somebody says, I love this painting and I'm going to take it home and hang it on my wall, to see that is just awesome.
Let's not leave this a minute because I have gotten to shop there. It's one of my favorite places to go for such unique gifts.
Great.
Because you're going to find things there that you just don't find anymore. So happy that it's now in the Arts District.
Good.
But how many times do you get to meet the artist while you're shopping? And there, what I love is that there are these people working in the back. You see them doing the clay and doing, making the crafts and painting the paintings.
Right.
And what kinds of things, because I won't be able to give a full description, but the types of items that you're able to purchase at this very unique gallery. Talk about that a little bit.
They do. It's not only paintings that they have. They recently, they are upcycling bowling balls. And they are decorating bowling balls with all kinds of stones so they could be garden artwork. The other neat thing they have going on, and I've got to think of Get Shades, but they are doing a community give back project with a local group that all the money goes to one of the local hunger associations providing food for our local community. So this group is selling sunglasses. So they brought the sunglasses into the artists at Just Imagine. Our artists are decorating them.
Wow.
They are 100% unique, each pair of sunglasses. And then those are being sold, I think, both out of our store and through this committee that is selling them. And I believe it is the May 1st Friday that they're asking everybody to wear their shades. That's going to be a big focus of this community give back project. So how neat that our artists who, and us families say, we receive so much support from our community for our kids. We really do. And any chance that we can do to give back to the community. And so that our artists down there, all 8 of them that are down there, have been decorating glasses like crazy. And they are photographed up on the Just Imagine Gift Gallery Facebook page, so you can see some of them there. But how great to be a part of giving back to other people in need.
Very, very cool. We are visiting with Lisa Paramore from the Stark Board of DD. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.